sports is going on here?
Good morning, sports fans, and welcome to the Preston and Mike Show. For our inaugural episode, we will be picking all 41 bowl games. Let's do introductions and a little explanation of the show from our host, Preston Antes.
What's up, guys? I'm Preston. I'm your host. Today we're going to be talking about all 41 bowl games. We're really just big sports fans here, so we decided to make a podcast and talk about college sports. I'm a big SEC fan, love SEC football, follow a little bit of basketball, and I'm also a big SEC baseball fan. I also like to follow the recruiting trail a little bit, so I'll be talking to you guys about the National Signing Day next week for the early signing period. We're going to spin it back to Mike now, who's going to introduce himself.
All right, fellas, I'm Mike, and I love college sports, especially college football. Saturdays, I wake up and I eat, drink, and football. I don't have a lot of friends, so I have a lot of time to do research. JP, could you please introduce yourself, buddy?
What's up, guys? I'm the special guest of the week, every week. JP, I'm a Big Ten fan, just really in football in general. I like watching football, I like talking about football, so I'm going to talk about football.
All right, do we want to get straight into picking, or does anybody
Let's
have
do
anything?
it.
I
All
would
right.
love nothing more than getting straight into picking.
All right, what game we want to start with?
The Peach Bowl, obviously.
The Peach Bowl, is that Florida?
That is Florida, Michigan.
Florida, Michigan? Oh, who you got?
Well, obviously, I have Michigan. They were a playoff caliber team. They just didn't really show up against Ohio State, but it's hard to show up in the shoe. It's a tough place to play. They're favored by 7.5 points. I would take them at 10. They will win. They will cover the spread. Put all of your money on Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with that one. I think Michigan is the better team compared to Florida, but I don't think they're going to show up. If you've watched Shea Patterson over his career, which I have, I've gotten the pleasure to follow him since he was at Ole Miss. He just hasn't shown up in those big games. You saw the Notre Dame game earlier in the season, the Ohio State game. They just haven't played well in those big games over the last 2 years for Jim Harbaugh. That includes blowing a lead last year to South Carolina in a bowl game. And Florida, while they're not a great team offensively, I think Dan Mullen's a really good coach, and I think he's going to pull them through to get this win.
I got to take Michigan on this one. I think the Florida defense has been spotty, irregular. I don't think they can play against Shea Patterson and Karan Higdon being coached by Jim Harbaugh. I don't think that's a matchup that a Florida team that struggled against teams like Mizzou and Kentucky can play against.
I mean, I see your point, and I definitely think that Michigan's the better team. I just don't think they can show up in big games, and I think that's been evident throughout Jim Harbaugh's career, and especially this year.
I personally, I would discount the Ohio State game. I think I don't know if you can say a Michigan-Ohio State game is indicative of a team's season and ability to play in big games. I think an Urban Meyer coached Ohio State team that he designed to beat Michigan. When it beats Michigan and everybody gets surprised, come on, you can't count that as a big thing. And an early season Notre Dame loss, it was the first game of the year. They were clearly just getting going. Now that they're warm, they're ready to play, and they'll take Florida all 4 quarters easy.
So I think we all agree Michigan's the better team. 2 of us think they'll win. 1 of us doesn't agree. Let's move on.
Fair enough.
We're going to go back to the first game of the bowl season, which is the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. I think this one should be an easy one. It's going to be North Carolina A&T.
A&T, easy.
Alcorn State. They have a better team. They're hungry from last year. They played in the exact same bowl last year, lost to A&T. They won't this year.
I disagree. The A&T defense will outmatch the weak Alcorn State defense. You just can't disagree with that. They have a stronger defense, and this will be a defensive battle when it comes down to it. And A&T will win that.
All right, let's keep moving. The New Mexico Bowl, North Texas, Utah State. Utah State, a team that actually surprised a lot of people this year, and they went 10-2 in the regular season. They're playing North Texas on ESPN. Who you got?
Utah State all the way. This will be a quarterback battle between Utah State's Jordan Love and North Texas's Mason Fine. I'll take the more experienced quarterback and the team that played against better teams all year in the Mountain West. It's got to be Utah State.
Yeah, you mentioned Utah State's record. They went 10-2 overall. They went 7-1 in the Mountain West, which, let's be honest, that's the true Power 5 conference. The ACC is awful. They went 7-1 in the Mountain West. They have quality losses against Michigan State and Boise. I mean, they are a good team who's only lost to other good teams. They're going to slaughter North Texas. So it won't be a game.
Yeah, I agree. Utah State by a touchdown at least. Now we got the Auto Nation Cure Bowl on the CBS Sports Network. Tulane versus Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. I'm taking Louisiana by a touchdown.
I wouldn't put it that close. I think the Cajuns will fare well against a weak Tulane defense with their dual threat running backs, Trey Ragas and Elijah Mitchell. I think that'll just overpower a weak Tulane defense. It won't be much of a contest.
I'm looking at the spread here. It's Tulane's a 3.5-point favorite. They should win this game. The odds makers say they're going to win this game. They're not going to win this game. If you vote for Tulane, you're a nerd. Tulane fans are nerds, and nerds don't win football games. Louisiana's second in the Sun Belt Conference. They got a better record. They're the Raging Cajuns. They're going to win that game. Let's be real.
All right, moving on now to a game that actually should be pretty entertaining for one of those early season bowl matchups. We got Fresno State taking on Arizona State in the Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl. I'm taking Arizona State in that one. I think Fresno State's a good team, but I think Herm Edwards has really trained his team to show up in those big games. We saw it this year against Michigan State, a come-from-behind win against Arizona, some close losses too. I think they're going to show up. Their record might not indicate it, but I think they're a better team than what they really are.
Better team than what they really are?
Or what their record indicates. I'm sorry.
That's really embarrassing for you, bro.
It's early.
He's embarrassed over there. I know you guys can't see, but he's red as a beet.
Thanks.
Equally embarrassing is the fact that he picked Arizona State. They're a garbage team from a garbage conference. The Pac-12 is not a good conference. It's not a Power 5 conference this year. It's a historically great conference. I still like to watch their football. They're not good this year. Fresno State built their team to beat Boise State. They are the antithesis of Boise State. They play well-disciplined defense with quality quarterback work. Marcus McMaryion will spread the field against Arizona State, and he'll pound him. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Mike on this one. Maybe not so with such great conviction, but I think Fresno State's definitely going to win this game. A big team full of bruisers. Herm Edwards and his young guys won't keep up.
All right, moving on to a game we really don't have to spend a lot of time on in the Georgia Southern versus Eastern Michigan in ESPN. I'm taking Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, not worth watching defensive game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one's going to be watching.
Keep moving on.
All right. Middle Tennessee versus Appalachian State in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Who you got?
I mean, I thought a lot about this. Not actually that much. I didn't think that much about it. But I got App State. They're the heavy favorite. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're riding the hot hand here. They took a decent Penn State team to overtime. I don't see any way that Middle Tennessee pulls this one out. I really don't.
Yeah, Zach Thomas will bring home the hardware for the Nears. Go App State.
Yeah, App State's defensive coordinator is pretty good, and their head coach, while is leaving, he set this team up for a big bowl game. I think they're going to cover the 7-point spread. The next game we have is the Boca Raton Bowl.
Boca Raton.
Yeah, UAB against Northern Illinois. I'm taking UAB in that one. I think it's a feel-good story first and foremost with the fact that UAB didn't have a football team 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden they're in a bowl game playing pretty great football. They got whooped by a Texas A&M team, but I don't think that's indicative of the way they've played all season. I think they're going to pull this one out.
I think Bill Clark's a good coach for a decent team considering their conference. I think UAB will take it behind Bill Clark.
I'm going to have to disagree with the popular vote here. I'm saying Northern Illinois. They're 1.5-point underdog. It's going to be a close game. If I had to give you a game to watch out of the lesser bowls, this would be one of them. This should be a great game. It's going to go down to the wire. I would say Northern Illinois wins on a last-second field goal, honestly.
I mean, it'll be a great game if you love to watch defenses slugging away at each other.
I do.
Beyond that, if you want to see a touchdown or two, you are not going to want to watch this game.
I do not want to see touchdowns. I want to see big players make big hits on sissy quarterbacks.
I like that. I respect that.
All right, moving on now to December 19th at 8 o'clock, we got the Frisco Bowl. That's San Diego State versus Ohio on ESPN. I'm taking Ohio. I think San Diego State's going to give them a run for their money, but I think they're going to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bobcats on this one. I think it's a pretty easy win for them. They're smoking hot right now. They had that loss to Miami. That's not lovely, especially since Miami isn't in a bowl game, seemingly inexplicably, despite beating 4 or 5 bowl-bound teams. That being said, I think AJ Outlet on the Bobcats is just too big and strong for underpowered San Diego defense.
I'm gonna have to once again go against the common opinion here. I'm gonna take San Diego State. They've suffered as of late, but they were a good team at the beginning of this year. I think they're gonna really get fired up for this bowl game. They've still got a chance to redeem their season and have a decent year. They're only underdogs by 3 points. Ohio, not been that great as of late. I wouldn't say they're that hot. I would say San Diego State could win this game. And I'd like to do a brief interjection here. New segment. What's got me fired up? The fact that Miami, Ohio is not in a bowl has me fired up.
I think everybody's pretty fired up about that.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. They're one of the 4 teams not given a bowl. They deserve a bowl. They won 6 games. They did what they had to do. They beat multiple bowl-bound teams, and they're not going bowling. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a snub of historic proportions.
I mean, there's too many 6-6 teams, I guess. Do we know what it comes down to in the tiebreaker?
It's clearly not a head-to-head because Miami beat Ohio, 3 games ago? It doesn't make any sense to me. The team they beat 3, I looked at their schedule, they beat 3 or 4 bowl-bound teams. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
We do not know what the qualifications are. The NCAA will not tell us.
NCAA,
if you're listening, I'm calling you out, NCAA.
Let's see.
Ohio
Southern
deserves
Miss
a bowl.
missed a bowl. Miami missed a bowl. Wyoming missed a bowl. And Louisiana Monroe missed a bowl game. Also,
Nice.
Liberty's not bowling, but that's because they are in their first year in the FBS, and so they can't play in a bowl game.
We're going to get right back to that in a second. Liberty will be bowling next year with Hugh Freeze at the helm.
I agree. Hugh Freeze
Agreed.
is a great coach, and I still want him coaching at Ole Miss.
All right, now back to the bowl games. We gotta get rolling here. We got 41 bowls to get through, and we're gonna keep getting through them.
Could you say we'll go thundering on with the Marshall Thundering Herds beating the crap out of the South Florida Bulls?
You could definitely say that. I'm going with you on that one. We are Marshall over here at the Preston and Mike Show. I mean, my heart's telling me pick USF.
Wrong.
You've seen them play. They've got some good players. But then I did some research. I used my brain. And Terrence Horn, their star returner, who, let's be real, one of the best players in college football. That man took back 2 kick returns for touchdowns in a matter of 2 minutes. He tore his ACL. He's out. He's their best athlete. They will get stomped.
I'm still taking USF in this one. I think Charlie Strong's got a good program with a strong defense. I think they're going to pull it out here. I really believe in this USF team. I think they can take a Marshall team. They've played some quality teams, not great, but they played a UCF team and a Memphis team, so I think they're well prepared to take on Marshall.
Wrong.
All right, are we moving on to the next?
We are moving on, Preston. We've got the Bahamas Bowl with Toledo versus Florida International.
Toledo's taking that one easy.
Oh, that is my game to the watch. Game to the watch. It's
Super
my
embarrassing.
game to watch. I think that'll be one of the biggest offensive games of the year. Toledo's got a wicked good offense. I am currently thinking that the running back for the Rockets, Brian Koback, he'll pound him on the ground, take an easy win by 2 touchdowns.
I'm sorry, who are you picking there?
Toledo.
Okay. You know what? This is going to be the 3rd time now that the entire board is agreeing. I did some research here. I looked up Florida International on ESPN. I was looking for their football team. You can't find them. You know what comes up first? Their women's basketball team. That comes up first. Then you've got some other basketball teams. Then at 4th or 5th, you have Florida International football. That tells you all you need to know. They have played uneventful football for the entirety of their existence. I didn't know that was even a university, much less a football team. They will get absolutely slaughtered by Toledo. Both teams combined putting up 80 points.
All right, next bowl game up is the Idaho Potato Bowl. I'm sorry, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl between Western Michigan and BYU. I got BYU rolling in this one. It's a 12.5-point spread. It's not even going to be close.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a very hard one for the Cougs. They've had flashes of brilliance this year. Their offense has been solid. They've played good games against Utah. They put up a lot of points. Western Michigan can't make up for a, frankly, abysmal defense, and BYU takes home their hardware.
You know what? I told myself this podcast wasn't going to become an echo chamber, but it looks like it may. As far as winning the game, I want to take anyone but BYU, but I can't. And shout out to BYU. To be a Mormon university and have such a consistently good football team, that's ridiculous. How do they get people to play there? I don't know. Their recruiters are incredible. But that's winning the game. As far as covering the spread, I think Western Michigan's going to do it. 12.5, that's a ridiculous spread. I've never seen that before in my life. I think maybe they lose by 10. I don't know. But if you're a betting man, I would say take Western Michigan to cover.
Real quickly, just on the Miami part, I looked up the criteria to make a bowl game.
Are we talking Ohio?
We're talking about Miami, Ohio. Okay.
Miami University, not the University of Miami. No one cares about them because they're in the SEC or ACC.
They're in
I've
the
embarrassed
ACC.
myself.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
The ACC
Super
is terrible.
embarrassado. So they must have as many wins as overall losses, which obviously they had. The only other thing it says is they can only have one win against an FCS team, and that's only if the FCS team has awarded at least 90% of the scholarships that FCS rules allowed. That means teams like the Ivy League and Georgetown do not count because they did not award that many scholarships. I don't know if that was a problem for Miami or if you look at their schedule or what.
Well, no,
I don't believe that is the case.
They're
They are
still
bowl eligible. Agreed.
Okay.
Wow,
So the
that was
only
cool.
other thing could be that the people that own the bowls to just not want to pick Miami for ratings reasons. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Yeah, let's keep marching on with our bowls here. We got the Birmingham Bowl, Memphis versus Wake Forest. Mike, who you got?
Oh, I got Memphis. This will be a fun one to watch, though. A lot of big offense, but I think Darrell Henderson for Memphis. I really don't think Wake Forest can take him down going with the Tigers on this one.
I think Wake Forest can make it close with the schedule they've played this year. They have played, I believe, Clemson. Have they played Clemson? I think so.
They have played.
They have,
Clemson.
okay. And they played Notre Dame, so they have experienced the big-time games, but I just think Memphis is a higher-powered offense, and I think they're going to run right through them.
I would love, just for one time, for you two to disagree on a bowl. It's getting ridiculous. It's out of hand. I'm taking
gonna
Wake
happen.
Forest. Wake Forest is going to win this game. They're going to put up 80 points combined. It's going to be an incredible game to watch if you hate defense.
We're just rolling through these bowls right now. I'm sure once we get to the bigger ones, Mike and I are going to disagree at some point.
I'm sure we will.
But the next one we got is the Armed Forces Bowl. It's Houston versus Army. I'm taking Army in that one. They've played a great season all year long. A close loss against Oklahoma on a pay-per-view game. I don't know how pay-per-view college football games work. I've never seen that before. But I think Army's going to roll.
Yeah, Army in the Armed Forces Bowl. I mean, come on. You can't take anyone else. You can. Army will win it, and the triple option is what will win it for them. Houston can't take it. I think Houston fans will smash more than their fair share of TVs watching Army march down the field.
They run the triple option?
Army?
Yeah.
That is
Army does
literally
run the
all
triple
Army ever does.
Is that
They
just
throw
all the
maybe
military
3
schools?
passes.
Somebody didn't do their research.
No, I've done my
on the
research.
side
It's
of
just
the
all the.
Could I make
all the
my pick
military
now?
schools.
Could you guys shut up?
No,
Thank
Mike
you
and
very
I
much.
want to keep agreeing on some sports games right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not watch this game. This will be absolutely disgusting. I'm a fan of defensive football, but the football the Army plays is not football. It's basically just rugby. They run the ball up the middle almost every time and try and get 2.5 yards every play. And then maybe occasionally, once in a blue moon, they'll throw a pass and it'll get dropped because their quarterback is terrible.
Reminds me of Sumner's offense.
Shots fired. Sort of agreed, not gonna lie. Terrible game to watch. But it's the Armed Forces Bowl. I have to take Army, as much as I hate to do it. Let's keep rolling.
All right, this next game is at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, Saturday the 22nd. If you're not doing anything and this game is on, I still suggest not watching it. It's Buffalo versus Troy on ESPN. I think Buffalo's going to win. Actually, I don't even remember who I picked. And quite frankly, I don't even care at this point.
I got to take Troy
Rude.
here. Disagreeing with Preston's not picking any one strategy. I don't think that's a successful play. But I think Troy will win this one. They've got more bowl experience under head coach Neil Brown. I think the Trojans will take this one easy.
I'm going with Mike on this one. The Buffalo Bulls versus
Bulls.
Troy Trojans.
It's Bills.
That
It's
is
Bills.
it is Bills.
It's Bills. It's Bills.
It is Bulls. You are both wrong. It is the Bulls, and Preston is
I'm not
really
disagreeing
falling
with you
apart
here.
over there.
But regardless, Preston, looking it up.
We're looking it up right now.
All right. Regardless,
Unless ESPN is wrong, it is the Bulls. Okay.
Okay, it's the Bulls. I can see it.
it is the Buffalo Bulls. I was right. Buffalo Bulls.
Is the Bills
Troy
the NFL
Trojans.
team?
Are you
Did you
serious,
just ask
Preston?
that question?
I don't even watch NFL
I am
anymore.
so
It's
upset
such a
with you
joke
right
now.
now. I
That
am
is so-
visibly shaking.
You are the Nathan Peterman of podcast hosts.
I mean, I played like Nathan Peterman in JV football, so
That's
pretty
true,
much
you
that.
did. I watched it. It was pretty bad.
I think,
Buffalo
like,
Bulls
yeah.
versus Troy Trojans. That's an incredible matchup. I disagree with Preston wholeheartedly. I would 100% watch this game. The odds makers are saying they'll score 53.5 points together. Troy's a 2.5 point underdog. I'm going to take the underdog here. And Troy Trojans, they're going to win this game. I mean, I can't really justify it, no, but it's what I feel in my heart of hearts.
All right, the next game we got is at 10:30 that night. It's the SoFi Hawaii Bowl. Louisiana Tech is
You
playing.
mean sci-fi?
No, it's SOFI, however you want to say it. It's going to be Louisiana Tech versus Hawaii on ESPN. I'm taking the Rainbow Warriors in this one. Can't really stand Louisiana Tech. I think it'll be close, but I think Hawaii's rude.
Gotta take the dogs here. Louisiana Tech will take this home. They put 21 up against LSU. What has Hawaii done this year? What? Any decent team they've played, they have been blown out by. They're kind of an embarrassment, and even with home field advantage, they will get stomped.
It's the Hawaii Bowl. I make my picks based solely upon bold names. I'm still taking Louisiana Tech. Hawaii's a terrible team. They are so bad. And I've watched Louisiana Tech play in some bowls in the past few years, albeit inconsequential bowls, but they fared relatively well.
This
They're
is
a
also
2
an
point.
inconsequential bowl.
You watch your mouth.
Just saying.
Yeah, don't
This is
disrespect
incredibly
Hawaii.
important to the people of Hawaii.
I'm sure it is, but for us
After that
sitting here
missile
in
scare,
St.
they
Louis-
deserve this.
They do deserve it. Preston's wrong again.
Okay, moral of the story, I'm taking Louisiana Tech, and Preston is not the brightest.
All right, for this one, we're gonna bring in our special.
Oh,
Producer.
Boston College, Boise
We
State.
got the Servpro First Responder Bowl.
A little introduction. Jacob Sowers, he might be planning on attending Boston College next fall, so let's see who he picks in the matchup.
The only
of-
person that I know who knows less about football than Preston.
Yes. He is wholly incompetent. He's a good producer. He is a terrible, terrible sports fan. Let's see who he takes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Sowers. I'm the producer here. I'd like to say I'm going to take Boston College in this one.
Willie, no
Shocker!
wonder. No wonder
Hey-o.
he picked wrong. Boise State takes this one easy. Brett Rippon is one of the best quarterbacks in college football right now. He's had 30 touchdowns this year. He's the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year, and we know that is basically getting the Heisman. He'll torch even an admittedly solid Boston College defense. That Boston College offensive scheme is what offends me on a deeply moral and personal level. They throw it 2 yards to receivers who are supposed to get yards after the catch, but don't because they're terrible. Boston College is a bad team that will lose in blowout fashion to a god-tier Boise State garbage ball offense.
We'll see what the scoreboard says.
Jay, as much as I did love Boston College standing up and putting up a bit of a fight against Clemson, they're not a very good football team. They're not good at this whole football thing. They should stick to the books. They're a bunch of nerds. They're not good. Boise State, a bunch of good potato farming, solid Mountain West folks. They're the best team in the Mountain West. They have a absolutely ridiculous offense that you just can't even start to describe. Boston College, they'll hang around. They'll make it close. They'll throw a little tricks in there with their book smarts and their thinking brains, but thinking brains don't win football games, Jacob.
I'm taking Boise State again. I think it's not even going to be close. If it is, it's just going to be sheer domination by Boise State the whole way through. And I don't think Boston College is really going to stand a chance.
Yep, Jay should stick to the producing and stay away from the picks because he is abysmal at them. Abysmal.
Let's keep moving.
All right, the next game we got is the Quick Lane Bowl. Minnesota taking on Georgia Tech on ESPN at 5:15 on Wednesday, December 26th. I'm taking the Golden Gophers in this one. Can't stand Minnesota as a Wisconsin fan, but I saw them torch that Wisconsin secondary and made a blowout win in their rivalry game. I think they're going to handle a decent Georgia Tech team. It's not even going to be a problem for them. So I'm taking Minnesota.
I gotta disagree with you on that one, Presto. Georgia Tech's got a brilliant triple option offense. I think that'll torch the Gophers, who played Big Ten teams, and they haven't played them very well. I'll admit they beat Purdue and Wisconsin, but I don't really see that happening again. Plus, those are bad teams that had good nights against Ohio State.
Purdue and Wisconsin are two. Purdue, young team. They've got some raw talent. But Wisconsin, that is a good football team. And the Golden Gophers, I mean, what a name. How can you even try and pick against them? They'll stop the triple option. And once you stop Tech's triple option, there's nothing they can do. They have no offense other than the triple option. And the Ghosts will shut it down. Let's keep moving.
We got the Cheez-It Bowl, California versus TCU.
Go Frogs.
Frogs by a million.
Yep,
That's not even
yep.
going to be close.
Okay.
Cal's a pathetic football team, and I haven't even wanted to watch them all year. I was physically ill when I watched one of their games this year. They're pathetic.
I think we can move on then. I think we
Well,
all got TCU.
I mean, looking at it, TCU should not win this game. They're on their third string quarterback this year. Their first string, turnover machine. Second string, I don't even know what happened to him. He was some preppy weird white kid. I don't understand. But my heart is in Texas. My heart's in Fort Worth. TCU by 15 points. They're going to destroy Cal. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, let's get through these next few. Sorry.
Next through.
Yeah,
Super
sorry. Let's
embarrassing.
get through these next few. We're getting on
Independence
to some of
Bowl.
the big
Temple
games.
versus Duke. Go, Mike.
Temple.
Duke.
Duke. Temple lost to Villanova. Did you know Villanova had a football team? I did not.
Temple beat Houston and Cincinnati. Temple beat Houston and Cincinnati.
They
So
lost to Villanova.
All right,
Villanova
Pinstripe Bowl.
isn't
Pinstripe Bowl.
ideal.
Let's keep moving.
Pinstripe Bowl.
Miami versus Wisconsin in a rematch from the Orange Bowl last year. Who you got?
Who knows and who cares? I'll take the Badgers because I flipped a coin. These are two incredibly disappointing teams. Incredibly disappointing teams. I don't recommend watching this if you don't like having your dreams squelched.
I'm with Mike on this one. Boring game. Won't watch it, but I will see some Jonathan Taylor highlights pop up after he runs all over Miami's sorry excuse for defense.
Yeah, and breaking news today, Miami is losing their defensive coordinator. I think Wisconsin's going to run away with this one literally with Jonathan Taylor.
Literally.
Yeah.
Nice. Good wordplay. Texas Bowl. Baylor versus Vanderbilt. Michael, go.
Vandy, SEC beats whatever Baylor has going on.
Agreed. Baylor is awful. The implications they've had in past years, disgusting. Every single one of their players, probably a felon. You can't pick them. You just can't do it. Vanderbilt by 10 billion points.
Yeah, I saw Kyle Shermer play against Ole Miss. He torched an abysmal secondary, but nevertheless, he's got NFL talent, and I think he's going to try to show it off in this game against Baylor. It's his last college game, and he's trying to improve his draft stock.
All right, now we're getting interesting. Music City Bowl, Auburn versus Purdue. This should be a great game.
All right, I got a
Everything-
lot on this one.
I would love. I love watching. I'm gonna love to watch this game. I would love with all of my heart to see Purdue pull off the upset.
That's what you're going to see.
It's
That's
not
what you're going to
happen.
see. That is what's going to
Auburn's
happen.
gonna win that
Auburn
game.
is a more talented team. I will give you that any day of the week. But they are dysfunctional. They should be a top 10 team. They have top 10 talent.
They're dysfunctional
They haven't
in
been able
every
to
way
use it.
at Auburn. Trust me, it's bad.
Yeah, they
That was
haven't.
creepy.
That was super weird. We can move on. They haven't been able to use their talent. What makes you think that they can use their talent in a high-level bowl game? Purdue beat Ohio State. That's all I'm saying.
Basically, what's going on in Auburn right now is the boosters aren't a big fan of Gus Malzahn, and they're trying in any way possible to get rid of him, and that includes
I don't care.
Yeah, anyway, I'm just saying the boosters there are going to be cheering for the Boilermakers, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think Auburn has the superior talent, and they're going to pull away with the game.
I'm gonna go with a mid-episode flip here. I'm taking Purdue. I want to see the upset. I'm going with the upset. I'm with you, Mike. Purdue's
Purdue
gonna
by a
win.
million. Boilermakers forever. Cuse, West Virginia. Who we got?
Is that even a question? Will Greer is not playing. That man has carried West Virginia all the way to where they are now. I put on this sheet, Will Greer is an animal. They will put up 60-plus points. He's not playing anymore. Syracuse, they're going to run away with this game. West Virginia is demoralized.
Strongly disagree. I think West Virginia, even without Will Greer, nope. I think Will Greer was a big portion of their team, but I think they still have the speed and the talent to play the Syracuse team, who, quite frankly, didn't have any big wins.
Preston, if you can tell me your quarterback, I'll flip my pick.
I couldn't tell you the backup quarterback.
Exactly.
All
That
right.
doesn't matter, though. They got A.J. Brown's cousin on the outside catching passes, and he's put up some big numbers this year.
Yeah, guys, what is West Virginia? Can we answer me? What is West Virginia? What is the central tenet of what West Virginia is this year?
Will Greer.
Is he going to be playing?
Moonshine and pizza rolls.
No, Presto's wrong here. Despite the moonshine and pizza rolls on the
I'm sorry,
sideline,
it's pepperoni rolls.
whatever. West Virginia won't be able to pull this off against an admittedly garbage Syracuse team.
All right, Iowa State, Washington State, in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Who you got?
With one caveat, I'll take Washington State. If they can hold off on the penalties, they get penalized so much, just such an unnecessary amount. If they can keep it to under 50 yards of penalties, they will win this game.
Have you seen that video of the Iowa State receiver absolutely mossing the Kansas defensive back and then throwing him to the side to score a touchdown? I want that to happen in this game so bad.
You know
you don't even know.
The most important word of what you just said?
Kansas.
Kansas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kansas football is terrible. Iowa State, I would love to watch them win this game. I hate the hype that Washington State has gotten, but they're not going to win this game. I mean, Wazoo all the way.
I think Washington State is also going to pull away with this one. They got Gardner Minshew. Iowa State can and has upset a lot of teams in the past. They beat Oklahoma last year. I think they have the chance to do it, but I just don't think they're going to be able to pull this one off. All right, next we got the Belk Bowl. It's South Carolina versus Virginia on ABC, 12 o'clock on December 29th. It's some pre-college football playoff games. Who you got?
Got to take the Gamecocks. Jake Bentley can handle whatever Virginia has going on defense. I don't think it'll be much of a contest.
Yeah, I'm taking South Carolina. Jake Bentley's a pretty good quarterback. They got some good receivers on the outside, and Virginia, despite having a decent team this year, I just don't think he'll stand a chance.
Don't watch this game. It's not going to be a fun game to watch. I do think Virginia's going to win just because, I mean, you got to throw them something. They've been historically a terrible football team, but I applied to Virginia, so once I get there, they'll be incredible. All right? Yeah, I don't watch it. I don't care.
You might
I'll
have the
take Virginia.
talent to walk on there. Hot take.
Isn't that kind of sad? Moving on, Arizona Bowl, Nevada versus Arkansas State. Mike, go.
I'll take the Red Wolves here. Arkansas State takes this one behind one of the rising stars of college football, Justice Hansen at quarterback.
I'm taking Arkansas State. It's Hugh Freeze's old school he coached at, and for that reason.
What is with you and Hugh Freeze, dude? Good
For
For
Lord.
those of you who don't know Preston, he has a love affair with Hugh Freeze. It is most of
And-
what he talks about. He's got his picture of Hugh Freeze
False.
on the wall.
That's
He's got
just
a
not
Hugh
even
Freeze
true.
tattoo somewhere we can't talk about.
Not even true.
He's pulling up on a computer right now pictures of Hugh Freeze and just crying because he's no longer at Ole Miss. But moving on,
False.
my pick, I'm taking Nevada. You know, they've lost some games this year, but they lost to good teams. They beat a lot of bad teams. They're going to win this game on a last-second kick. Game to watch right here.
I would
All
watch
right,
this game.
next games up are the college football playoff games. Do we want to talk about those now or save them?
No, they're not. Yeah, they are.
Oh, as far as dates go?
As far as dates go, they're
Oh.
next.
Yeah, let's talk some college
Let's
football
do
playoff.
it.
All right, first
Let's do
game
it.
is the Cotton Bowl, Clemson versus Notre Dame. Who's taking Clemson? Who's taking Notre Dame?
I got Notre Dame, boys. Ian Book has an arm. He has a cannon. He will torch the Clemson defense. And surprisingly, I believe that the Notre Dame O-line can handle that much-feared Clemson front four. I think so. I think they'll be able to run the ball, and obviously they'll be able to throw the ball. I think they'll get a couple touchdowns. They're hungry. They hate all the hate that they're getting. They'll take this dub.
I'm going to piggyback off all of Mike's great analysis of that game and add in that Brian Kelly is one of the best coaches that I've seen in a long time. That guy has transformed this program, and they're hungry. They have been disrespected all year, and all they've been hearing for the last couple weeks is, oh, you didn't play in a championship game. Oh. But Clemson played in an ACC championship game. That doesn't even count. The ACC, not even a Power 5 conference. They shouldn't be an FBS conference. It's ridiculous. It is pathetic. Notre Dame is going to win this game, even though they're an 11-point underdog.
The ACC is an embarrassment to college football.
Anti-ACC
It really is.
game.
Like, going undefeated in the ACC is basically being a 5-loss team in the SEC. I won't give you an undefeated. Oh, they're undefeated. I don't care. They're on the same level as UCF to me.
I'm still taking Clemson. I think Notre Dame hasn't played a high-quality schedule. You look at the teams they played. They beat Ball State by 8 points, Vanderbilt by 5 points. These are home games. Their best win was a Michigan team that just didn't look like themselves in that game. Shea Patterson still didn't know how to play in that offense. I don't know if he still does, but that's
I would
besides the
keep
point.
in mind that they beat Michigan with Brandon Wimbush. Brandon Wimbush, who cannot throw the ball. He is a running back who they snapped the ball to. That was a Wildcat offense. But they didn't say
I think
it was
you
Wildcat
disrespect
offense.
Clemson a lot more than they deserve. I think Clemson's a high-quality team despite playing in
I don't
the
like the
ACC.
tone of your voice, sir.
Yeah, Preston, what would they do if they're in the SEC? In your opinion, how many losses would they have? Who would they have lost to in the SEC?
If they played in the SEC East,
Yes.
probably no.
They would have lost to Mizzou.
They would
would
not
have
have
lost
lost to
to Mizzou.
Mizzou.
Drew Lock would have torched their sorry excuse for defense.
No, false. Moving on.
Great analysis.
Moving on.
I'm saying one loss maybe. One loss to Georgia.
That's ridiculous. You are
Depending
wrong.
on their crossover
you
game.
don't deserve to have your name on this podcast.
Just watch the game.
Moving
Watch
on.
Watch the
They
game.
only
Orange
beat
Bowl.
A&M. Final take. They only beat A&M by 1 point.
All right.
A&M is a good team.
No, we're moving on. I'm done with this. Orange Bowl, Alabama, Oklahoma. You got Alabama as a 14-point favorite.
Why are we talking about this game? Is Alabama by a million?
Yeah, no, tied by a million. It's not going to be fair.
Roll damn tide.
You know,
You can't do this. Don't
No,
pick
you can't.
Oklahoma
You
just
can't
because
pick
you feel
Oklahoma.
bad.
They can't play defense.
really,
Buddy, they can't play
I
defense.
want to pick Oklahoma so bad. You don't know how much I want to pick Oklahoma, but I can't in any good conscience pick Oklahoma to win this game. I think Oklahoma might put up 50 points, but Nick Saban will find a way to pay the scorekeeper $1 billion and put up 52 for Alabama.
Not only am I taking Alabama in this game, I can say with absolute certainty that barring a turnover, they will score on every drive against what Oklahoma calls their defense, whatever that is.
Unless they have to kick a field goal. Then they might not score.
That's true.
Okay, sure,
They
but
can't
they
kick.
won't need to.
They will not need to. They could miss every single extra point and probably still win this game.
All right, moving on. We got the Military Bowl at Cincinnati versus Virginia Tech. I'm taking Cincinnati in this one. Virginia Tech had a lot of hype at the beginning of the year, but no more.
I've got a feeling Tech's winning this game. That's all I have to say.
Bearcats by a million.
All right, Stanford Pitt in the Hyundai Sun Bowl. I'm taking Stanford.
I think Pitt can run the ball. They've had 2 instances of having 200-yard rushers in a game. They run the ball, they win this game.
I'm taking Stanford. I'm going with Preston. They were an underrated team this year. They have no bad losses. They only lost to quality teams, and they have Bryce Love. That guy's pretty ridiculous.
All right, Red Box Bowl. Michigan
Red
State,
Box Bowl.
Oregon. I'm taking Oregon.
Michigan State. Oregon's overrated. They haven't played anyone.
I hate Michigan State with all of my heart. I want them to lose so badly, but I hate Oregon more, and I want them to lose more. So I'm taking Michigan State.
All right, an AutoZone Liberty Bowl game featuring Missouri and Oklahoma State. I'm taking Missouri. I think they're a pretty good team. They've played really well this year, and their quarterback play is just outstanding with Drew Lock.
The Tigers will not only win this game, they will embarrass Oklahoma State. Mizzou is finally coming into its own, and they will win this game by a large sum.
Yeah, I can see this game going 2 ways. Either Drew Lock plays like Drew Lock, and he absolutely torches Oklahoma State's Big 12 defense. Or you have, Rudolph? I don't even know. Cornelius?
Yeah,
Whatever
Rudolph's
the
fun, I
Oklahoma
think.
State's quarterback is, he has a ridiculous name. But they have played incredibly well in all of their big games this year.
Cornelius Rudolph would be a pretty cool name
That
if
would
we
be a
mash
cool
the
name.
two together.
That would be nice. But I can see Oklahoma State winning this game because they have played well in every single big game they played this year. They played well against West Virginia. They played well against Texas. They played well against Texas Tech. They've played a lot of great games this year. I'm going to take Oklahoma State.
All right, San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. Man, that is a mouthful. It's Northwestern versus Utah. Who we taking?
Got to have the Cats here. Got it. Why Northwestern will win this one easy. They've had a way tougher schedule, and if you watch the Ohio State Northwestern game, they played them into the fourth. Things kind of fell apart in the fourth, admittedly, but they played them into the fourth. I got to take the senior quarterback Clayton Thorson in this one. Cats win this one by a touchdown.
You people can't see me right now because we're not videoing this, but I just took my shirt off in solidarity with Northwestern. I love the way they've been playing this year. You know what? I've been in a crusade against nerds here in this episode, but I'm going to take the nerds. The nerds are going to win this game. They're insanely underrated. They've got a good defense, great chemistry, shirts off gang.
I really have trouble picking against Northwestern, but something just tells me Utah's going to win on a last-second field goal.
How much did Utah score against Washington if you could remind me.
I think it was 3.
Was it 3?
Maybe.
Was it 3 points?
It
What
was
is?
3.
How many
It was
did Northwestern score against Ohio State? Was that 3?
Like more than 3.
No.
Yeah, but
Definitely more than
Northwestern didn't have,
Take
or I
3
mean,
and multiply
Ohio
it by
State
7.
didn't have to play high quality defense when their offense is scoring 50
no,
points.
No, we're moving on. Northwestern's winning this game.
All right, the
I don't
next
even
one's
wanna hear
really
from
easy
Preston
though.
anymore.
It's A&M by 1,000.
Yeah, I know the Aggies. This will be an embarrassment.
Jimbo Fisher
I-
is turning that program around very fast, and it's about to get.
You should
Very
never bet
great.
against Jimbo Fisher. His
name is Jimbo
cruel
Fisher.
And unusual. This is cruel and unusual. I don't know why
Jimbo.
you would put NC State
Fun
against
to say.
A&M. It's unfair.
If you could give me a second here, I have to put my shirt back on.
Also, real quick, just to fill some time while JP puts his shirt back on, Texas A&M has a top 4 recruiting class, and I think they're just going to get better in the SEC West. The only question is, can they challenge Alabama consistently?
Nobody
No.
cares about recruiting. Yeah, I hate agreeing with you guys. I really do. I want nothing more than to get to yell at you about how A&M's a trash team. But you know who's more of a trash team? NC State. NC State sucks. They're so
All
bad.
right, Outback Bowl, Mississippi State versus Iowa. I'm taking Mississippi State. Not only if they win, do you get a bloomin' onion, but Mississippi State is just a better team.
Was
Yeah.
that English? I didn't
No,
understand.
you get
word
a
of that.
bloomin' onion from Outback Steakhouse if Mississippi State wins
Yeah,
Why?
Outback State.
Why is Outback betting on Mississippi State?
because it's an Outback Bowl.
The Outback Bowl? If the Big Ten team wins, they get coconut shrimp, I think, and if the SEC team wins, you get the whatchamacallit. I can't
You're
even remember.
choosing
it
a
now.
blooming onion over
The-
coconut
The
shrimp?
blooming onion is way better.
Bloomin' onion is insane. You've clearly never had a bloomin' onion.
No.
I will demolish. a
Also,
Bloomin' Onion. I will
if
eat an
Al-
entire
if
Bloomin'
anybody
Onion.
from
You know,
Outback
we
is
can
listening-
leave.
we're talking about demolishing.
We can leave.
Iowa will
right
demolish
now.
Mississippi State.
No, man. We'll
Iowa-
leave right now and let's go try them both. Let's go get a bloomin' onion and coconut shrimp. That decides who
Let's
wins
do it.
this game.
Jay,
Next
Jay, cut it
podcast,
right
We
here.
are
Jay,
going
you're
to
paying.
be eating
You're
some
paying.
bloomin'
Cut it
onion
right
and
here.
coconut shrimp. But anyway, if anybody from Outback is listening, come sponsor us.
Please, we need sponsors.
We would
need
love
money.
some free food.
We have to
and
pay
money.
for our microphones.
Really, anybody, this is my sidebar here. Anybody with any sort of business, if you would like to sponsor us, we will literally promote your product constantly. Like, you don't even know. Every time we make a pick, we will have to say, my insert company name here, pick of the day. We just want money, guys. That's all we want. But, I mean, Iowa's winning this game. They're my feel-good team. They do that little wave thing to all the kids in the hospital. It's beautiful.
Wait
They
one
play-
second. You don't know how much it pains me to pick Mississippi State in this game, and I'm still picking
He's an
them.
Ole Miss fan.
That'll
Yeah.
tell you how much I think they're going to win this game by.
I think you're really tearing your heart out here for no good reason. Iowa's going to win this game.
No,
They
Montez
run
Sweat-
the ball
Montez
hard.
Sweat-
No,
They
they
don't
can't
turn it
run,
over.
Gerald.
They
This
cannot.
this is my game to watch.
Wrong.
But Iowa's going to pull it out.
Buddy,
Wrong.
they can't run the ball against Montez Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. They can't.
Montez Sweat.
Montez
Is
Sweat
that a
is
real
literally
person?
his
It
name.
is a
That's how
great
hard
name.
he works. His name is Sweat. He will demolish them on the line. You cannot run the ball
He's a
against
projected
Mississippi
top
State.
20 pick by Mel Kiper.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
Anyway.
move on, guys. We're
If
blooming
you
onion debate.
if you can watch this, JP's just kind of staring Mike and I down right now.
Yeah, he's fuming over there. I think his shirt's just burning off at this point.
All right, this one's not even going to be close. It's
I'm
Penn State
enraged.
all the way.
I'm still mad about the last
Penn
one.
State for years. Trace McSorley can take the Kentucky defense. They're garbage. They're spotty and terrible.
I originally did have Penn State as well.
And just go with it. Just go with it.
I'm not going to go with it. Because you know why? Penn State sucks. But give me a good win that Penn State has had all year. They are still getting respect from Saquon. That's ridiculous. I feel like every time somebody likes a Saquon highlight on Instagram, Penn State moves up in the rankings. I don't understand how. They are a garbage team. They are not good. Albeit Kentucky also sucks. Kentucky's overrated. They get SEC bias. This will be the battle of the trash.
All
But
right, we got 4 more games
Kentucky's
left.
gonna win.
Let's move right through.
Right.
Sir,
The
if you could not
Fiesta
rush
Bowl,
me, I swear I will
It's
jump across the table and
LSU
tear your eyes
versus
out.
UCF.
Okay.
UCF, if they win, will inevitably claim another national championship,
Which is tough.
yeah, it's unfortunate for college football.
I honestly think it is cruel to put up UCF against LSU. UCF is no, you know what? They are the most overrated team in college football for the past 2 years. I don't care if you win all your games when you're in the American Athletic Conference. LSU by a million because their running game is just as strong.
You know, I was liking UCF, and then Mackenzie Milton got hurt, and now they don't have a football team. They're bad at this whole football thing. and they should really stop making a fool of themselves by proclaiming themselves national champions.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
kind of disgusting.
It's embarrassing.
UCF, who's there? Does anyone know their athletic director? No. Okay, UCF's athletic director, if you're listening, you are a sorry disgrace for a man, and you should really resign and just go move to some island.
I
It's
think
getting
what JP is
pathetic.
trying to say there is schedule a harder out of conference schedule.
No, leave your conference. Join the ACC. The ACC is garbage. They are still better than the American Athletic Conference.
Can I get my pick in real quick?
I don't know, can you?
I'm taking LSU by 1 million. I'm a big Devin White guy. Free
Who
Devin
isn't
White.
taking LSU
Ed
by
Orgeron.
a million?
They
Also,
are coming.
a massive Ed Orgeron fan. And let the band play neck, by the way. Just saying. Shout out to LSU.
I will be doing one of those Hawaiian haka dances in the event that LSU wins by more than 25 points.
If they can
All right.
score more than 25 points, I think it's a good day for LSU. I think they'll win.
I think if they only win by 25 points, it's kind of an embarrassment, and they should retire
I would
from
agree.
football.
All right.
I agree.
Washington, Ohio State, and the Rose Bowl.
Okay, all right. This Ohio State is my team. This is what I do for a living, clearly. Ohio State is going to win this game by 500 points. Literally 500 points. This is Urban Meyer's last game after they were left out of the playoff. Do you understand how angry every single coach and player is going to be playing Washington? That is a disgrace. This team would have a chance against Alabama. If I were, I'm just going to say it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Urban Meyer get a sack in this game. They are going to absolutely destroy. The spread is 5.5. Put $1 billion on Ohio State covering that spread. It is ridiculous. The Pac-12 is not a real conference. Ohio State's going to win.
I would tend to agree. I don't think anyone can make an argument that Washington could ever even play with Ohio State. I think they're just going to go out there and embarrass themselves. That being said, Jake Browning is a high-quality quarterback. I really like him. I would like to shake his hand for putting up with the Husky program for so long. I think he will be a good player in the NFL.
Ohio State's running away with this game. It's not even going to be close. Let's be honest.
Let's move on.
All right. Sugar Bowl. Texas versus Georgia. Going to be a fun game. It's on New Year's Day in New Orleans. Should be a fun time for those guys. I'm taking Georgia. It's going to be not even close, really. I think Texas is a decent team, and I think they're going to be a top 10 team next year. But I think Georgia's just should be a top 4 team. I think they're going to run away with this one.
Georgia should not be a top 4 team. They lost 2 games.
Yeah, you got to win to be in the top 4. I'm sorry.
I mean, most
Gotta win
deserving
games.
versus
No,
best 4
we
teams.
can do this debate some other day, but they do not deserve it. And they're I mean, all right, I
Right.
want to pick Texas, but I can't. Georgia's a good team. Georgia's a better team. Texas is an okay team. Georgia's gonna win.
Got to take the dogs.
All right,
And
national
the dogs.
championship game Monday, January 7th. Who you got winning the national championship?
It'll be Alabama, Notre Dame, and Alabama will win in a 35-17 snoozer.
Yeah. You remember back in the day when Alabama would play some team in like 07 every year, nobody would watch. It was the BCS championship game, and nobody really cared. And they would win by a solid like 14, 15 points, and that was that. That's gonna be this year again. They're playing Notre Dame in the national championship, and I want the Catholic in me wants Notre Dame to win this game. I want the Irish to pull it out, but it's not gonna happen. Alabama's too good. The only team that had a chance was Ohio State, and they're not in the playoffs. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Roll damn tide. I think with that we're
Watch your freaking language.
gonna take a wrap here.
Yeah, guys.
We're gonna do a little wrap up here.
I
Yeah,
just-
Mike.
I
Give us
I
a
just
little wrap
want
up,
to
baby.
say we love each and every one of you for listening. If you ever want to
yeah, that's
shoot me
fair.
a text and just talk, I'm always open to talk. Anyway, if you can find my phone number, feel free to text me.
Mike
I'm
is
cool with
sliding in with anybody that is listening.
anyone
That
that's
was
listening.
really overt, especially considering that mostly guys are going to be listening to this.
So that's cool. That's
If
cool.
anybody.
That's all right. I just need to talk to somebody.
Also,
sometimes.
if you're listening out there, we're gonna do a special guest speaker of the day. So
yeah,
I
we will
thought I
have
was the special guest
we will
speaker.
have a special
no, but we're
guest
gonna actually
speaker.
have a special guest speaker.
Yes, picked randomly from our listeners. We'll contact you in some way, and we will invite you in
comment
to speak.
on this this SoundCloud video to be entered to be the guest speaker of the day.
And make sure to listen next week. If you don't listen next week, then you know what? I'm not
Then-
going to be happy with
Well,
it.
then
I'm really
you
not.
lose your texting privileges. With Mike.
You don't get to text me. We won't talk. Like, I'm free to talk about feelings like anytime. Like, it's cool. But we won't talk if you don't listen to this podcast.
I can confirm. I talk to Mike till like 3 a.m. almost every morning, and it's really cute. We're
Yeah, it's really
adorable.
nice. We're good friends.
We're holding hands right now, but you can't. See
All right,
it.
Preston, you want to?
All right, and with that, we're gonna
Finally
see
end
you
this.
next week. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thank
We
you.
love you. Thank you.
I love you.